Moment of reflection and the Pledge of Allegiance. Camilla, can we please have a roll call?
Mr. Mignon,
Here.
Mr. Francis, Mrs. Irwin Adams, Mrs. McGinnis, Mr. Cook, Mr. McCauley,
Here.
Mr. Romanowitz, Mr. Pacifico, Mr. Pappas.
Please excuse Mr. Romanowitz. He's out of town on personal business.
Okay, I need to announce that prior to this meeting, we had an executive session to discuss personnel matters. And also, I was remiss in the last meeting on March 8th that the same occurred. We had an executive session to discuss personnel matters. So with that being said, it looks like we have a special presentation to a wonderful story that we're also proud about. So who's doing it? Ms. Foreman, sorry.
Not a problem. But it is my distinct pleasure this evening to introduce to you, most of you know, Coach Mark Baselli and the Altoona Area High School Gymnastics team. The gymnastics team was the state winner this year in the gold division. So I'm going to introduce Coach Baselli. He's going to introduce you to the girls and tell you about their successes for this year.
Thank you. I'll need it. Well, I'd like to thank the school board for having us here tonight. I'd like to thank the athletic office and Mr. Riccio. He gave the kids a terrific pep talk before we left, and I'm 100% convinced that got them focused for the meet ahead. Also, I'd like to thank my volunteer assistant, Tiffany Finelli. She did a fantastic job working with the girls and getting their routines ready for states. Okay, we'll go ahead and bring the girls in. Excuse me, my voice is. Emma Betley, Emma Bechtel, Taylor Nepper, Maddie Pastor, and Bella Bush, Claire Piper, Sophia Finelli, Lainey Easter, Taya Porter, Sophia Finelli. Did I get out of order there? Okay, Delaney Barr, Abby Donlin, and Lily Adams. Okay, girls. Slide down that way just a little bit. You'll notice all these girls have medals. This was a fantastic team. It really was. These were a bunch of young ladies that were a joy to work with most of the time. Okay. And they did very well. One of our goals this year was to go through our regular season undefeated. They did that. They won the Central Pennsylvania Gymnastics Championship for the 17th year in a row. And they did that. And we wanted to get everyone qualified for the individual, and the state qualified for the gold division. In the individuals, there's 4 divisions. There's bronze, silver, gold, and diamond. Most of our girls were diamonds. So that's a lot. That's a very good thing to have. The girl holding the trophy there, or the plaque, she won diamond. Let me see, diamond vault, diamond floor, diamond beam, and placed second in the all around, which is very difficult. She missed first by less than 0.2 of a point. And we were a little disappointed, but we can't really complain. All right. I'd like to talk a little bit about the meet itself. Okay. We started off on bars. That's not the usual competition. Usually it's vault, bars, beam, floor. So we started on bars with kind of a rough start. We did well, but we didn't do as well as we could. Then we went to beam, and we did well on beam, but again, we were looking for at least 36 to 37 points per event. On bars, we got 34.9, which was a little disappointing. I think we were better than that. Our scores were just a little bit lower than they should have been. On beam, we got a 36, so that was okay. Then we went to floor, and on floor, they nailed it. All the five girls for team, 4 scores count. Out of the 5 girls that competed floor, all of them scored in the 9s. So we nailed floor. Vault, we were struggling a little bit throughout the year on vault, but we got it together for the state meet. Once again, all 5 girls scored in the 9s. So we nailed vault. When we did that, I kind of knew we had the meet. I knew it was going to be close, but I thought we had it. This is how close it was. Baldwin placed 3rd. They scored 145.634 points, 145.6 basically. Moon, that's the team we wanted to beat. We've been after Moon for years now. Moon scored 145.874. Altoona scored 146.567, less than a point between the first 3 teams. So they did a fantastic job, and I'm very proud of them. So that's, anybody have any questions they would like to ask or anything?
I could swear you were coaching when I was still in high school.
You may be correct.
1982, I graduated.
That's about when I started.
I thought so. Not when Dave Francis was here, but when I was here, I'm sure.
Mr. Francis, yes. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. We've been lucky enough to have good gymnasts throughout the years, and I give them the credit. It's not me, it's them. They work hard. They work out throughout the year to maintain their skills, and we've been very successful over the years. Claire. Yeah.
Yeah, Duquesne has a lot to celebrate right now.
Yeah.
And making the dance. I just want to comment too. I mean, I know girls, a lot of the times that people don't realize how much time and effort you put into your craft. Really, you're working year round, training, lifting weights, practicing for your events. And it's not something that's seasonal, that to be successful at what you're doing, it is a full-time dedication. And we know that. Thank you very much for being wonderful representatives of our school district and our community. And congratulations on quite an accomplishment. So thank you. Would any of you like to say something? Claire, you seem to be the representative. You sure you wouldn't like to say something?
I hate to pick one gymnast out, but she came her senior year. I wish she'd have come a little sooner, but she's been a pleasure to work with. She's been our highest scorer. She averages about 37 points per meet, and she's been a big plus for our team. But all these girls are excellent gymnasts. There's no one person that I want to really pick out. We got some really good gymnasts returning. I'm hoping to recruit a few freshmen. COVID's kind of messed us up a little bit. We have blank spots. We didn't have any seniors last year. This year, we don't have any sophomores. So hopefully we can get back into a regular routine here. Thanks.
Thank you.
It's a really good group of kids. Okay.
Well, do you want to get a picture or anything with the girls? Or are we good? We already got it. Okay, cool. Perfect. Thank you. Mark, appreciate it.
Okay, before we get to the portion where we hear from citizens, we have a resolution. The IUA General Fund Operating Budget for 2024. Do I have a motion to pass this resolution? Do I have a second? Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. All right, before we get started here, allow me to read this. I have to take my glasses off. Hearing from citizens. Citizens wishing to address the board are to clearly announce their name, address, group affiliation, if applicable. Public participants must be residents or taxpayers of the Altoona Area School District or anyone representing a group in the community or school district, any district employee or any district student. Your statement shall be limited to 5 minutes. I'll keep the time. I'll give you a hand signal when it's 30 seconds. Please understand that you can only comment once on the same topic. Statements are to be directed at the board president, which is me as the presiding officer. You are not to address or question school board directors individually. As board president, presiding officer, I may interrupt or terminate a participant's statement when it's too lengthy, personally directed, abusive, obscene, or irrelevant. I may also request any individual to leave the meeting if he or she does not observe reasonable decorum as defined by the president's presiding officer, which is me. If a person's conduct interferes with the progress of the meeting, he or she may be removed with assistance from law enforcement officers. I reserve the right to call a recess or to adjourn to another time if a lack of public decorum interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting. So there's all the legalese. I would just say, we want everybody who wants to speak tonight to have an opportunity to speak. We don't want to shut down any public discourse, so please be respectful of what I read. And that being said, we will move forward with 5 minutes. I'll give you a signal at 30 seconds and we'll go from there.
Kelly Bowers, 210 4th Avenue. That clear enough?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I would like to ask for the district to call on the resignation of an administrator because of the fact of everything that you guys don't know. I actually know a lot that has everything to do with this situation before PCAR attorney got involved. Because I'm the one who set up PCAR attorney. Okay? So I'm asking for resignation of administrator because what he did was completely inappropriate. And the fact that I'm here doing this is because his church thought it was appropriate before any information came out to defend him. So I'm publicly defending an educator because I will share the screen grab of the video where this person was persecuted by an entire church called Transformation. Okay, so I'm publicly asking for this person's resignation. I've been really sick. Obviously, people see that. And like, this is very frustrating to me because I actually cared a lot about this individual because my son has survived a sexual assault. And many times this man prayed with my son before he went to church, or not church, excuse me. I wish it was church. It was court for rape charges against him being victim. I watched this administrator take the light out of someone's eyes. Not right. I want his resignation or apology for that person. You know who that person is? They deserve that apology. And that is one person. I don't care what anyone say. I've been sick as hell fighting for my life. And that's the only person that check up on me every day and never said a goddamn word about any of this.
But that's it with the language. Okay, thank you. Would anybody else like to speak? Please share your name and thank you.
Hi, sorry, not good with public speaking. My name is Carrie Pierce. I live in Altoona, 24th Street. I guess the group I'm representing are my kids. That's who I stand for. And I wrote this up because I wanted to make sure I got it right. I came here tonight because I missed the last meeting when everybody was discussing the bullying situation in the school district. And I feel like it could be brought up at every meeting because it feels like something that is not going away anytime soon, ever, ever. My 11-year-old daughter used to go to the junior high. She's doing cyber now. And the main reason for that is fear. Her first period gym class, she could see girls that were bullying other girls because the teacher wasn't always around and she was terrified she was going to be next. Okay. And it scares the crap out of me. Her best friend is still in school. She's 11 too. There was a situation in the cafeteria. I'm so totally off here. She needed help opening something. So like she was taught, she raised her hand, said, hey, can somebody help me? A gentleman walked over. She said, can you help me open this? And the gentleman said to her, you're in 6th grade, figure it out. What is that? She needed help. She asked for help. And that's, to me, a really crappy response. I don't know if they were having a bad day, whatever. That's fine. Don't take it out on the 11-year-old. If we can't get our staff, the teachers here to treat the kids with respect and dignity, the students are not going to follow. You lead by example. My grandmother always said that. My mother always said that. That's all I ever heard growing up. Lead by example. And if staff and teacher, if they're not treating the students the right way, other kids aren't going to do that either. And sometimes these kids will not come forward. My 15-year-old, his friend that they eat lunch together, I guess she was getting called names and things like that because she admitted she had a crush on him. And a couple of students were calling him names. And I'm like, well, tell the teacher, tell somebody. And to quote him, they don't do anything about it anyway, Mom. They don't care. And I got to agree with him because 2 weeks ago, I called his principal, told his principal about it. And he said, well, call your son in and we'll have a conversation. It still hasn't happened. It still hasn't happened. It's still going on. Apparently it's happening in a classroom today. Another 2 weeks ago. Nothing. My oldest, who's now 23, when he started at junior high in 7th grade, had problems. His school ID was thrown down a sewer. Some kid followed him home, hit him in the back of the head, gave him a concussion with a tree branch. APD couldn't do anything. School police didn't do anything. That was a fun bill. And the gym teacher made fun of him for having a My Little Pony keychain on his book bag that his sister gave him for luck in school because he was nervous at junior high. He's 23 now. This bullying is not going to go away. And we do need to lead by example. And I think that there needs to be something done because zero tolerance is not working. People just ignoring that now. So it needs to be called something else or something else needs to be done. Please. I'd love my daughter to come back to school. So that was it. I'm done ranting.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. All right, we'll move on. Thank you. Next, we have approval of meeting minutes. So we could go through all three. The approval of committee of the whole minutes from February 5th, 2024, approval of regular board meeting minutes from February 12th, 2024, and approval of the committee of the whole meeting minutes from March 4th, 2024. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of those meetings? Do I have a second? I have a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Or should we have a discussion before any discussion? My fault? No. Okay. Motion passes. Next, under finance, we have list of payments, financial reports, transfer of funds, drama honorarium, contracted services, elementary basketball, one-time agreements, and school dentist agreement. Would anybody like to pull any of those out for individual vote? Hearing none, then I will ask for a motion to approve items 6A through 6F. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? Any discussion?
It's between 130 and 150,000 a year.
Anybody else? All right. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We move on to 7, education. We have the 2024-2025 Learning Express and pre-K counts calendar approval, an affiliation agreement with Grand Canyon University. We have conference travel, non-public. We have doctoral study approval. We have grant approval, 2024 intervention assistive technology grant. We have the intern psychology partnership between Penn State Altoona and AASD. We have the subrecipient letter of agreement between Lancaster, Lebanon, IU13 and AASD. We have volunteer approvals, elementary field trips. We have new club for AAHS and the junior high. Is that the bowling club? Sorry. We have secondary field trips. We have field experience, Wilkes University, and we have the 2023-2024 revised school district calendar and Learning Express calendars. So that's section 7, A through M. Would anybody like to carve any of those out for a standalone vote? Okay. Hearing none, I will seek a motion to approve items 7A through 7M. Do I have a motion? So moved. Do I have a second? Thank you. Would anybody like to discuss? Sure.
So right now it's not a stipend sponsored club. We are looking at realigning some of our current stipends within the club recommendation moving forward. So it's going to be for all of secondary. We have more than a lot of interest from staff. This was a student initiated club. We feel like we literally will have hundreds of kids involved in this initiative. Bowling is something that used to be a very proactive activity in the Altoona community, and we're looking to revitalize that. And I know that we have some staff members that are more than willing to take the lead on that. So we're very excited about instituting this club and moving forward, not only for the rest of this year, but moving forward. I want to say we had a couple high school and a junior high school person, correct? They were interested. Okay. Yeah, there's more than a lot of interest. I think the faculty sponsor for this club was is Mr. Neely here? What's his name? Mr. Strawmeyer, correct. Mr. Chris Strawmeyer. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. If we could get a bunch of already thinks out there, that'd be awesome. I could probably get him to volunteer though. I know already pretty well. Yes.
Any more discussion on those items? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? All right, let me scroll down. 8 is personnel. All the items are contained in that attachment. Do I have a motion to approve the personnel items? And who seconded it? Was that Dave? All right, okay. We're not going to argue. I'm kidding. Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. Any discussion?
I'd just like to say, I see we have a lot of long tenured people on this resignation list or retirement list. So I want to wish them well, but I think we're losing a lot of great people, unfortunately, at the end of this year. So Doug included.
I just want to echo that. We literally have, and this represents hundreds of years of service to education into our community. And you could expect that list to be probably similar next month, as most of our retirements are due by the April 1st. So I want to personally congratulate Doug on his retirement. Well deserved. Doug's worked with the district for a number of years and done an outstanding job through some really some major projects and transitions here in the school district. So Doug, thank you very much for everything you've done. And I hope the fish are always biting for you. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Okay, all in favor of the one item, the personnel items, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we'll move on to business operations. We have parent transportation, Amtran drivers, capital reserve list of payments, capital projects list of payments for approval, repository bids, fall sports equipment bid, food service management company contract, McAuliffe Heights chiller, junior high water heater, elementary window change orders, vehicle disposition, and the AAHS loading dock. Would anybody like to pull an item or two out of that list to discuss or vote on separately? Hearing none, I will ask for a motion to approve items A through L.
So moved.
Do I have a second? I have a second. Would we like to discuss?
Think they had properties initially that were condemned or in a condition that they could not be salvaged, so they tore them down. But most of the lots can be built on, yes. We have no control on the build on. Now, we did have a number of them pulled because the city turned down the repository bids.
Anybody else? All right, so I'm looking for a motion to, for items A through L under section 9. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
We have enough.
Oh, I had the motion already. All right. Okay, we're done discussing. All in favor of items A through L, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, under new business, we have election of IU8 members and we have approval of the health and safety plan. Kelly brought up a good point. So as we elect, pick 2 of 3 board members for IU8, we know nothing about them. It would be nice to have maybe like a little resume or a brief biographical description, because it would be unfair to not vote for somebody who may be the best candidate. We have no idea. Can we table this or does it have to be done now?
I believe they need it for their budget, or for their votes moving forward.
Did they send anything?
They
I mean,
haven't, but that's a good point.
because I was
We
like,
can-
we have 3 candidates here and we're only allowed to vote for 2, but we don't know anything about any of them.
And I don't know any of them either to be able to give you any kind of a background on them.
And these are 3 people from Somerset County, so they're not familiar to us. But there's 3.
3 people. So
No, the region 2, yeah, region 2 and region 6 are they're the only nominee. So it'd be a yes or no on them, and then 2 of the region 6. I'm sorry, region 11.
Do we have to do this within the meeting or can we do this? Are we each handing our own individual ballot in?
Correct.
Okay,
With
Okay.
a yes, they ask that it be written out yes or no. If you choose to table it, I can ask them for information and we can turn it in April.
it would seem to be the fair thing to do.
I'm
Maybe-
checking with Dr. Butler right now. Give me
Okay.
one sec.
I mean, if somebody really wants on this and they wouldn't be on it because we randomly selected two people, I wouldn't be happy, but. Well, that's the other thing, yeah.
You want to throw your hat in, Dave?
No.
And can we do it via email? If we each send us a few biographies or something? And we could do it via email? If not, I'm literally gonna,
Not vote. I'm not gonna vote for the bottom one because I don't feel it's right.
We want to table it until I get a
Yeah, let's-
response back from Dr.
Yeah.
Butler, and if
yeah, let's,
he gets back to me before the end. Yeah, oh, wait. Yes, he said we can wait till the next meeting. He'll get us information.
Okay.
yeah,
Yes,
let's do that.
so we
That's
can do
fair.
that.
Thank you. I give Kelly credit for that. So we will table the election of IU8 board members. So now just seeking a motion to approve the health and safety plan 10B. Do I have a motion? So moved. Do I have a second? I have a second. Would anybody like this to discuss the health and safety plan?
You just want to go
I-
over it?
Sure. So it's a requirement. So I know when we did this back previously with COVID, it was about provisions that you're putting within your schools and your district to address health and safety. It is now continued as an annual approval for federal funding. So it's something that through title, we do have to approve every year. If you look, anything that is highlighted or in a different color has been updated, and all that's been updated are the dates. Again, it just reiterates that at this point in time, we are normal operations, unless there would be a point in time where there's something mandated by the CDC or Pennsylvania Department of Health. We will continue with normal operations.
Anybody else? Okay, all in favor of supporting the health and safety plan presented, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Could we get an official motion to table and a vote, please?
Sure. So I'm seeking a motion to table item 10A, election of IU8 members to the next board meeting. Do I have a motion to table that?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Any discussion on that? Even though we just had one. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Camilla. I don't want to get arrested or anything. Okay, we'll move on to committee reports. Do we have any committee chair reports? Board president's report? No. Ms. Klein, do you have a report?
Yes.
All right.
So the third marking period will end on March 22nd for all elementary and secondary students. And this is also another reminder that the AASD Town Hall will be holding an internet safety session at the AHS Drama Commons. It'll begin at 7 p.m. and will end at approximately 8 p.m. A presentation by Shape the Sky will help parents and children learn safe internet use. Additionally, schools and offices will be closed on March 29th and April 1st for spring break. Now, the drama department's production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat will be performed on April 4th, 5th, and 6th. The show will begin at 7 p.m. and will be held in the AAHS auditorium. Our drama department has been working extensively on this show, so we ask that you please attend and show your support. Additionally, the AAHS Spring Jazz Band concert will be on Tuesday, April 16th, beginning at 7 p.m. in the AAHS auditorium. There's also an interest meeting for the AAHS Black Student Union on March 26th at 2:30 in room A229. And I'd also like to congratulate our 9 students from the Junior Academy of Science who will be advancing to states this year alongside with our gymnastics team. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. That was great. Moving on, Brad, do you have a report for us?
Just very briefly, just to echo Ms. Klein's comments, the town hall next week, fourth in our series this year, extremely important topic. In this day and age, internet safety and especially responsible use of social media is becoming increasingly more and more important. So we'd encourage any of our family members, community members that are out there that would like to come in. Shape the Sky does an amazing job at giving you the most up-to-date information when it comes to social media safety. And as a parent of teenagers, I can tell you that there is not a more important topic than knowing and being aware and being educated as to what your children are doing online. So I would highly encourage parents, guests, or others to please attend next Tuesday, if just to get information or to start generating the conversation with your own children. Extremely important topic. Also, I would like to just comment on our schedule change. So on April 8th, we are going to experience a very infrequent phenomenon, which is going to be a solar eclipse. It is anticipated to impact our region at about 95% totality. Out of an abundance of caution, because of the timing of the solar eclipse, the Altoona Area School District, along with a lot of other area and regional school districts, will be looking at an early dismissal for that day. So you will be getting information tomorrow via public release about an early dismissal scheduled for Monday, April 8th, that will impact all students in the Altoona Area School District to make sure that we are addressing this phenomena in a very safe way, because it is impacting us at dismissal when we would be transporting students to and from school, and also students will be traveling home from school. We are having an early dismissal that day, and there's information that will be forthcoming tomorrow. So please make sure that you take attention to that, and please feel free to call us if you have any questions. We will be providing meals to all of our students, both breakfast and lunch, on those days prior to the early dismissal. Again, congratulations to all of our teams. Our girls basketball team advanced into the state playoffs and lost a heartbreaker. One of the most exciting games that I've seen at the field house in some time. The number of students and the number of community members in attendance that saw us, have 2 attempts at the last second to gain a victory over a very, very good team out of the Pittsburgh area. Fell a little bit short, but the future is very bright. We had state place winners at the state wrestling tournament. Our junior high school team finished second in the state, which is the best that they've ever done. Our coach was named state coach of the year. Obviously, our gymnastics team is doing well. I had the fortune of attending the musical at the junior high school a couple weeks back, Shrek, which was phenomenal, extremely entertaining. And if you've not yet seen one of our high school productions, I'd highly encourage you to come and see our musical, Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat. Incredible. If you want to see amazing level talent from school age kids, come and watch our musical production here at the high school. It will be the best $10 that you will ever spend. Great night out. Thank you.
Okay, I would be remiss. I just have to reinforce, as an old guy, when Brad originally mentioned the possibility of canceling school over a solar eclipse, I was like stunned. But just so everybody knows, it's the timing that has everything to do with this. It would be during dismissal, just so the public knows, it would be during dismissal. If it was at 11 o'clock or whenever, it would, I don't think it'd be an issue, but the timing is just such that it makes sense to even an old guy. So thank you. That being said, we have information only, payment of college credits, February reimbursement. We have a facilities committee meeting summary. And then we'll move on to 13. Do we have an employee unions response? Seeing none, we'll move on. Do we have a middle management response? Seeing none, I'll move on. Mr. Beard, do you have anything to say?
Just real quick, the feds were teasing us that those new Title IX regs were going to come out in March. They didn't actually go through their complete regulatory review process, so you may not see them unless they waive something for another 2 or 3 months. And then we'll get back to retraining again.
Okay, thank you. I think that's it. I'm looking for a motion to adjourn this meeting. Do I have a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor?